Welcome to the first episode. Well, I guess it's kind of like a reboot of Timeout because we started doing this we started doing Timeout, 2 years ago? I guess it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Stopped doing it and now it's back. So I guess it's like a reboot, rebrand, more reboot than rebrand of Timeout. A little bit of change, new logo, same faces, same faces. Dylan, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
doing,
I'm 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 great. I'm on vacation for 10 days, so
10
I'm
days?
yeah, I'm good.
Damn,
Yeah,
must be nice.
haven't had a vacation since last June, so
Yeah, you just off to be
feels
off, eh?
yeah, just feels right, Cotton. Feels
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I am in the middle of going ready to start week 2 of summer school, so it's been a blast. It's been fun, I guess, if you want to call it that.
You
It
could
could be
call it that.
worse. It could be worse.
Could be worse.
It could be worse. It could be on a moving truck in 85-degree weather, 90-degree weather, moving
Hot for
furniture.
16 hours. Yep.
Yeah,
Been there, done that.
no, it's not fun.
I'm not young enough for that anymore.
No, I don't think my body can do that anymore. Anyways, welcome to Timeout. My name's Brandon. That's Dylan. We're gonna get started here. Do you want to start with why we think the Eagles are the best team, or do you think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC?
And the NFC,
In the NFC, not
I
just the
would,
NFL, just the NFC.
I would say probably the NFL right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're stacked, right?
Yeah.
This is like the only thing that they're missing, and this is not to put Jalen Hurts down at all, right? He's just like when you look at dynasties, right? Because the Chiefs have the Chiefs have a dynasty,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, they're like that. They're like them, just a couple years ago when they had a solid, you
Mhm.
know, aspect on every side of the ball,
Right.
right? But the Chiefs kind of don't really have an offense anymore. I mean, you still have arguably the best quarterback in the NFL on your team. You have probably one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in NFL history, on your team, right?
Hmm.
But other than that, I mean, you don't really have anything. You have
Right.
Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, he's a good running back, but when you only have three pieces, right? You don't have any receivers. Your offensive line is not awful, but it's average, I'd say, right? And then the defense, I mean, it's missing some pieces. It's not as good as it used to be. So they kind of fell apart a little bit. Well, the Eagles have kind of, just hopped in that spot.
Yeah, they kind of copy. I mean, I would say like the kind of copycat same thing that the
But yeah, I mean, they did solid defense, and I mean,
yeah,
like solid players in every position on
right.
defense. Probably the best defense in the NFL.
I
To
would
be
say
honest,
their defensive line is top notch.
their secondary is top notch. Their
Yeah.
linebackers are top notch. Their safeties are top notch. Like they literally have arguably some of the. I mean, it's the best defense in the NFL.
Right.
Anyone can argue with me if they want to, but your argument's wrong.
Yeah.
It's the best defense in the NFL. The offensive line I thought is fantastic. Right. I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know if it's the best. It might be, but I
It's
would say
not as
I would
good as
say
it
it's up
used to
there.
be, but it's still pretty solid.
I would say
Yeah.
it's a top 10 offensive line,
Yeah.
and then your offense is arguably probably it's top. I would say it's top three in the NFL. Your offense, right? Because you have Dallas Goddard,
Yep.
right? You have Saquon Barkley. You have Jalen Hurts.
Hmm.
You have Devontae Smith, and you have AJ Brown. Like that is such a stacked offense. It's
Yeah.
ungodly.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were able to do things before without a good running back like that, right? And then now they have Saquon Barkley, and you saw what they could do. I mean, first
Mhm.
year with them, they go to win it all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what more. I don't know what anyone else can say about these guys. I think they're the best in the NFC. I think they're the best team in the NFL. I think even coming into this year, they're
Right.
probably the team to beat because of. I don't think people realize how big Saquon Barkley was. That was like a huge
But
missing piece.
that's what they were missing. That's what they
I
were
mean,
missing from the year before was a running
yeah.
was a solid running back.
I mean, you had DeAndre Swift. He had 1,000 yards, right? But
Yeah, but he's
he's
not Saquon Barkley.
he's injury prone. He's not as good as he used to be, right?
Right.
All those injuries he had in Detroit really hurt his body,
Yeah.
right? He's still fast, he's still agile, but he's not what he used to be. But you
Yeah.
get Saquon Barkley, that guy is a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Freak. His agility, his speed, I like to call it like a little bit of eagle eye.
Yep.
Is just his field where he can just see everything, see every hole he can move through, basically kind of predict what players are going to do next that are coming in front of him.
Yeah.
He can pick a path to go. He can catch the ball. He can run. I mean, he's a big, strong, physical dude. He's the type of running back that doesn't come to the NFL very often, and that was all they were missing. And now look at him. They get him his first year. They win a Super Bowl.
Right.
So,
that's fair. And you look at their offense is solid, and it's not even like their quarterback. I mean, quarterback play is
Jalen Hurts is underrated,
and he's good. Yeah, I would agree. I think he's still looked over.
I think he's probably one of, or if not the most underrated quarterback. Right. I mean, still right now.
Yeah.
But you saw what they did in the Super Bowl, though.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thought they were just going to run all over the Chiefs. The Chiefs actually did a decent job of holding Saquon Barkley down. I mean, he still had 70 or 80 yards on the ground or whatever it was.
But they won that game with the pass.
I mean, Jalen Hurts, he laid it down on him.
Yeah,
he laid it down through the air. He did, dude. He was throwing some of the most perfect passes.
Yeah,
that you've seen, like Aaron Rodgers type-esque pass.
Mm-hmm.
The guys who just can just let the ball go, and they just, I mean, when they let it go,
Yep.
That's it. Like the one he had Devontae Smith over the top. I mean, that man dropped back off his back foot, threw it, 50 yards in the air.
Was that right after halftime?
It just laid it right in the basket. I mean, he's underrated, man. He's good. He's been good since out of college. I think people just looked at him bad because Nick Saban basically benched him for Tua. So I think he's been overlooked since that point.
Yeah, and you see what you've gotten out of Tua, so it's not no superstar there at a Tua Tagovailoa. So at least I don't. We won't talk about Tua today, too much. But I mean, not even that, but just like defensively, Zach Braun, another solid linebacker. I mean, the guy's 6'3", 225. He almost found his way out of the NFL, and now he's he signed a contract over the offseason too not long after the Super Bowl, right before the Super Bowl, to stay in Philadelphia. The guy had a heck of a season too, defensively there. I mean, Jalen Carter, what a steal that was in the draft a couple years ago.
Jalen Carter, he's a big physical dude, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm impressed with their safeties.
Cooper Jean.
No, dude, those guys are.
He's a DB safety, whatever, same thing. Yeah,
those guys are wild, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, those guys are crazy. I mean, what they did to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I mean, they were all over him, man. Defense was all over him.
Yeah, they had no chance. The Chiefs had no chance in the Super Bowl.
They've literally covered every receiver about as perfect as you could ever cover,
mm-hmm.
and they shut every aspect down. Like Patrick Mahomes couldn't do anything. The run game couldn't do anything. The offensive line was just getting ran through. The receivers couldn't break free. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but Eagles are definitely the best team in the NFC. I don't even think that's a question. And
I don't think it's a question. I mean, it was what was brought up today because I just I did the whole thing on the Eagles last week. I did the whole prediction of their schedule and had them going 12-5, like 11-6. It's just because I think their division is going to be a little tougher than it was last year. I think Dallas will be decent. They're not going to be great. They're still going to put up a fight with Philadelphia, though. Just because it's a divisional game, it's a big rivalry thing. And they get them week 1 right off the bat. But you also have the Commanders there. And honestly, I don't think the Giants are going to be that god-awful.
I mean, the Giants will be terrible. I mean, you got Russell Wilson at the helm now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
you got Jackson Dart, if anything.
But it just depends, I guess, how good that offensive line is. So,
yeah.
I mean,
I still think
not the most.
I still think they win their division. I think they still win the NFC, and I think they represent the NFC in the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFL, and I don't even think it's close, to be honest. I know people are probably going to say, well, you got the Chiefs. I just don't think it's close. I just don't think it is.
Oh, yeah, you still have the Chiefs. You still have the Lions. You still have outside of those 3 teams, I don't know who else you really – maybe Buffalo.
I'm just saying if I put a team up against somebody and I'm picking a team to come out.
You're picking Philly.
I'm probably picking, and I hate that. I hate
know.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
My brother Zach is a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. I can't stand him.
So he's gonna love you hearing that. He's gonna
But
love
you gotta give credit where credit's due, right?
Yeah.
Those guys, they're literally unstoppable. Like now that they have Saquon Barkley, they don't have to rely on any one aspect of an offense anymore. It's whatever works is what they're going to do until it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
And 99% of the games, they literally gave it to Saquon, and no one could stop that guy whatsoever. And he just ran it down your throat. So,
trying to find trying to get the schedule because the schedule and stuff isn't the great. I mean, it's tough. They're going up against their first couple of games of the season are all playoff teams from last year. Let me find it here. So you get that's preseason. So you get week 1 against the Cowboys.
That's a win.
It's a home opener, right? Then you're week 2 at Kansas City.
That's a win.
Week 3 is home against the Rams.
That's a win.
Another playoff team. Week 4 at Tampa Bay.
That's a win.
That's one. See, I went back and forth with myself on that one.
I think they're 4-0 already, just for what you read off.
At Tampa Bay, though?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Then you're home against Denver.
I think that's a win.
Okay. At New York.
That's a win.
Against the Giants.
Yeah, that's a win. At
Minnesota.
You know what? Since their offense kind of went down, I don't know what JJ McCarthy's going to do, so I'll say that's a win. That's
what I did too. I questioned it. I was like, maybe that could be a trap game because we don't know what JJ McCarthy's going to be like in the NFL yet. But I mean, never know. And then week 8's against the Giants again.
Okay. Well, I think that's what I think they're undefeated, but I think they're undefeated up to this point.
8-0 going into the bye week.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, fair. Week 10's at Green Bay. This is the first loss, I think.
That I could definitely. Green Bay is a hard place to play.
Yeah,
and I know that. I know that from experience. Yeah. I know that.
Being a Bears fan,
I would say I don't want to say they're not going to go undefeated. I think that has every chance to be their first loss. I'll give that a loss.
I still said that it was either going to be the Rams or the Bucks that would beat them early. Because
I think that's a loss.
Yeah. Then you're home against the Lions.
Ooh. I think they might drop 2 back-to-back right there.
That's what I said too. I thought that was fair that they dropped two straight games. And there's a little panic starting to creep in.
It's hard to see. I mean, so at this point I have them 8-2, but it's hard to see because it really all just depends how Jared Goff plays. If he's a lights out Jared Goff, they probably lose. But but I'll say they drop 2 back-to-back.
Yeah. Then they're at Dallas.
That's a win. Dallas is awful.
Home against Chicago.
That's a win. I hate to say it, but that's a win, dude. I'm actually, I think I'm gonna be going to that game. So.
Oh yeah, in Philly.
Yeah,
that's sweet. It's a Friday. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving. So yeah, that'll be cool. At LA at the Chargers.
That's a win. The Chargers
just Monday night.
They're not there yet. They don't have the piece. They don't have the pieces yet.
No. Okay, that's fair. Home against the Raiders. That's a win.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They're so bad. They might be worse than Chicago. They might be worse than Chicago right now.
They don't play the Commanders until week 16.
I think that's probably okay. Anyways, keep going. Is that who they're? Is that who
that's the next game? Week 16.
I think they lose that game
at Washington.
I think they lose that game.
Yeah, and then they're at Buffalo.
I think they lose that game. I think they drop another 2 back-to-back.
And then home against the Commanders again.
I think they win that
week
one.
18.
They won that one though.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I think they lose 4 games. I would say 4.
4. That's all right. 5. Yeah, 13 and 4 is not bad. 12-5. Not bad either. What the heck? Anyways, ignore that. So, I mean, I could see that. I could see that happening.
Or they just absolutely sell, and they're just awful. And they lose games that they weren't supposed to lose.
No, it's a very good possibility. Very good possibility that happens. That they lose to. Imagine though, like they could easily be the complete opposite of what you said and go and start 0-3 to start the season.
Well, see, here's the thing about teams like the Eagles, right? They play these tough teams, and you say win, right? You look at it and you say win, but I mean, like what happens like when you're a team like Chicago, right?
Right.
When I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I think it might have been last year. where you lose like 4 or 5 games
Yeah.
by like 3 points. I mean,
Yeah.
and like 4 of those, like there was like 4 games. It was like at the last second.
1-point games.
So
Yeah.
like what happens when you lose? When you lose games in the last second because of a last second drive, 10 seconds on the clock, they managed to gain 50 yards to kick a field goal and they beat you.
Yeah.
Like, now all of a sudden you're talking. That's you're talking 5-0. Now you're talking 5-4 or 5-3 or what what I'm saying. Like, big anything can happen. That's why I like the NFL is because all these good teams. I mean, all it takes is just for one mistake.
Yeah.
All it takes, and it, that could cost you the game.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of football, I'll keep you updated on the UFL game between the Panthers and Stallions to play in the championship game next weekend. The Panthers are currently winning 34-17 over Birmingham, the 3-time back-to-back champion. 34-14 or 34-17 in the third quarter. So, winner of that game, we'll move on here. Winner of that game will take on either the DC Defenders or the St. Louis Battlehawks. Kickoff at the Dome at America Center next weekend for the UFL championship game. Aaron Rodgers, so we'll jump over here. Aaron Rodgers mentioned that he's going to fly to Pittsburgh to sign his 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers to become basically the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The day of training camp. How do you feel about this, Dylan? Aaron Rodgers in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform.
Well, I hate Aaron Rodgers.
I know.
And I hate him. I hate that guy relentlessly. I can't stand that dude.
Yeah.
He is good. He is probably one of the best quarterbacks to ever run through the NFL. I'll give him that. And I hate that guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, he helped the Steelers, lose a Super Bowl once, and I'm sure he'll do it again. Like that? Get it?
Okay. Yeah.
Because he beat him, because he beat him in the Super Bowl. And then,
yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, it has, God, I hate to say this, dude. It has all the story makings of him having a fantastic year. Because basically it's like a revenge tour. If you look at it, like they play the Jets,
Yeah.
they play Chicago, right? They play Green Bay, they play Detroit, like they
play Minnesota too.
like,
Yeah,
it's all the remakings of a revenge tour for this dude.
Yeah.
To kind of beat everybody that he's beaten before and / former teams.
Right.
But listen, Steelers have always had a solid defense, right? They still do. They've always had a great defense. They have one right now, right?
Yeah.
But their offense, I don't think it got worse. I don't think it got better.
They got DK. That helps anything.
But you lost George Pickens.
You did.
You could have had DK and George Pickens for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That is
right?
a problem.
That would be a problem. In my eyes, like, okay, you got DK Metcalf. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Right? But when someone says, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers, and now they have Pat Freiermuth, DK Metcalf, and George Pickens.
Right.
Now that's a problem for me because now he's on a star-studded offense with a pretty decent offensive line.
Yeah,
and
they're good.
Last year, the offensive line was bad, but they had quite a few injuries. On that offensive line, I think before the season even started.
Right.
So, I don't know. They probably – listen, I've seen Mike Tomlin have that team, go positive and make the playoffs with worse quarterbacks.
Like last year?
So –
they didn't make the playoffs, but still, they were still above 500 team.
I don't think he's ever went negative. I don't think he's ever had a negative season. So.
No, this is just, 20th season, and he's never had a losing season?
So, I'll say that they probably –
19th season.
There's a good chance they probably win that division.
Yeah. Really?
And
I was gonna ask you if you think that this.
They're definitely going to fight for it. I think it's going to be way tougher than what people think, especially if Aaron Rodgers is healthy and he gets up there and he does the damn thing. They probably make playoffs. They probably at least win 10 games. It makes me upset to say that because I hope the dude doesn't win a single game, but. That's just not going to happen. I just don't. It's Aaron Rodgers we're talking about.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't feel like he had the true support in New York with the Jets. I know he got injured the 1 year that he was there, but the guy had what's his name? Who's the Who is the wide receiver? Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
That's basically it, though.
He had a really unfortunate time and
Is a Jet
in New York. I mean, he tore his ACL on in the first 3 plays,
Achilles.
or his Achilles in the first 3 plays.
Surprise! Somebody doesn't have a good time in New York. I mean,
and I think that people lost a lot of confidence and motivation after that.
Yeah,
to be honest. So, and I don't think he really got support after that. And plus, I think he wanted Robert Saleh to be his head coach. Yeah. And the moment they kind of let him go, I don't think Aaron Rodgers was. I don't think he was fully committed anymore to the cause.
Yeah, he got the short end of the stick anyways. He shouldn't have got fired when he did.
So, I think they probably win 10 games. I hate to say it, but the Steelers have always been a pretty good team. They've always had a really good defense. They just always kind of lacked the offense the last handful of years. I think that's probably gone now. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf, that's going to be –
Who's the running back?
And Pat Fryer.
It's not
you still got Jalen Warren.
That's what I'm thinking of, Jalen Warren, because it's not Najee. He's out in the Chargers now.
So, but they got a pretty good offense, and Aaron Rodgers. You've seen what he could do with a running back, a tight end, and one receiver.
Yeah,
I mean he did it in Green Bay.
Is it fair to say that they? I think they finish. I think they could finish second in the division. I don't know if they win the division. I think Cincinnati and Baltimore are still the 2 teams that. But I mean, I can easily see 3 teams out of the AFC North making the playoffs next year.
Cincinnati is terrible until they fix that offensive line. Until they fix that offensive line problem.
Fair. Yeah.
You know, I saw something that they're the first team in NFL history, Cincinnati, to actually have a losing record when they've scored 33 points or more in a game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ever. Like that's ever happened. They went 3-4, scoring 33 points in a game, and they had a lose.
So their defense is awful.
Their offensive line is terrible.
Their
defense is terrible. Like Joe Burrow threw like 40 something touchdowns and only had, I think he threw 43 touchdowns and had 9 interceptions, and he threw for like 4,600 yards ish. And they still lost. Like they didn't make the playoffs. They still didn't make it. Offensive line's terrible, and the defense was horrific.
Right.
I mean, horrific. If your offense put up 33 points in a game and you still lose, that's a problem. So until they fix those problems, I don't foresee them winning the division. But I think they make playoffs. I won't say that they're going to win it all, like the whole division. Like I know that for a fact. But I mean, I definitely think Rodgers probably helps the Steelers make the playoffs. And to answer the question where it says Rodgers' impact for the Steelers, I think it's high. His impact this is the best outcome that they could have got.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have a quarterback going into this, so I mean, you were Rodgers or bust. If he wasn't going to sign with you, then I don't know what you would have done. You would have been stuck with whoever the backup was, which I don't even know who the backup in Pittsburgh would have been.
And Mike Tomlin does really well with quarterbacks who throw from the pocket really well.
Yeah,
I mean, look what he did with Big Ben.
That's true.
I mean, they were superstars together.
He didn't move very well, and Rodgers doesn't move very well. I mean, he still can. He still can get things. He can still get things rolling, but not like he used to.
So,
I think they'll be all right. I think they finish second or third in the division still, though.
I think they win 10 games. I think they make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think that's probably right about where they are.
That's fair. That's fair.
You're in the playoffs. You have a chance to win.
Yeah,
it's all that matters.
Yeah. Keep Mike Tomlin's legacy of not having a losing season intact.
I hope Aaron Rodgers ruins that.
I hope
he ruins it.
It's either going to go really well or it's going to go really bad. There's not going to be he had an okay season. It's going to be good or it's going to be awful. Like I don't think there's going to be a in the middle type of deal.
No, I just don't see how it could be bad. Like there's nothing that like points, unless someone else out there can tell me. I just don't see anything that points to this being bad.
Yeah.
They have the offensive line is going to be healthy. It's going to be good. They got a good offense. They have a great defense. You have Aaron Rodgers at the helm now. If you can do what you did last year with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson,
that's fair. Yeah. They didn't make the playoffs, did they?
And the year before that, you had Kenny Pickett. I think you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I think with Aaron Rodgers, you'll be all right.
They'll be okay. That dang fly. The stupid fly is just flying around, like banging me in the side of the head every 2 seconds. Like, sorry. If you see my hand fly up through the air like that, that's why. Yeah, I would agree. I think that's fair. That's fair. I think he'll have a decent season. Is it somebody you'd pick up like just because we both fantasy guys here, division champs and whatnot in our respective league of the Armchair Fantasy Football League and whatnot.
One's a winner, one's not.
Yeah, they're not gonna bring it up. Not gonna bring it up. Not gonna bring it up. You still got the belt, don't you?
No. Jason had it because Jason won it the year before, right. And then I forgot who won it this year.
Daniel did. He beat me in the championship game.
So Jason will give it to him.
Right. Do you think he's worth anything in fantasy football, or is it a wait and see?
I think he'll probably be a decent backup. I think.
Would you draft him though?
In the later rounds for a backup, yeah. I think so.
Okay.
I mean, the division's kind of it's kind of ass.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably gonna. I mean, Cincinnati's defense is awful. You're probably gonna tear him up, right? Cleveland Browns. I mean,
Cleveland's awful. Cleveland's gonna be.
I mean, their defense is the only thing that keeps them alive. But I mean, they can only hold up for so long.
Yeah.
And the Ravens. That's about. I don't even think the Ravens defense is that. I don't even think the Ravens defense is that good.
I don't think their defense is that good. That's why they didn't win the championship last year when everybody thought they were going to.
Yeah, I don't think their defense is that good. And Aaron Rodgers does really, really well.
I think Baltimore
when defenses are bad. So
yeah, that's fair. That's true. You have 3 very questionable defenses in that division.
I wouldn't draft him as a starter. Absolutely not.
No.
But there's too many other guys. Later rounds, like a backup.
Yeah,
I don't think it'd be an awful pick, to be honest.
Yeah, there's too many other guys out there that you could have as your first overall pick, or not first overall pick, but as your starting quarterback. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd pick him 6th, 7th, 8th round, 9th round.
If you need a backup, yeah. I don't see what the harm could do.
No, it'd just be like drafting Matt Stafford at this rate. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before when it comes to fantasy football.
He could be awful.
He could be awful, but he could be really good and throw 40 touchdowns like Peyton Manning did.
He very well could.
He could. So if that's the case, then everybody's going to be picking him up, trying to.
100%.
Trying to. And I'm going to change the waiver wire order to where I get the first one as soon as I start seeing that happen. You're welcome.
You heard it here first. You got it.
I'm just kidding. I ain't going to do that. No, I won't do that. Fair's fair. Move on to the next thing here. Josh Allen won his first MVP last year. Most valuable player in the NFL. Finally deserved. Because that guy literally carries the Buffalo Bills to every single thing that they've done in the last 5 years.
Without a doubt.
Who's your too early MVP right now?
Too early MVP?
Yes. Your prediction. Too early prediction.
It's hard just to say one person.
Yeah.
Like,
because give me one person though. I would want one person.
One
quarterback, running back. Doesn't typically go to anybody but that.
I know, but it always goes to a freaking quarterback.
Yeah. How Saquon Barkley didn't win it last year? I mean, because
he plays for the Eagles. That's why.
I know. And they have Jalen Hurts, so it's hard to have both of those guys in the running for the MVP.
My too early MVP.
Yeah, it's tough because you easily have Lamar Jackson there, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Barkley, Jared Goff, who easily could have won that last year too.
You know what? I'll probably say, I know people are just going to say it's an easy pick, but I'll probably say Josh Allen again.
Yeah.
Just because I think he should have won it way before this year. Way before this season, I think he should have won. I think his stats this season were actually less than previous years where I thought he should have won. I'll say him again. I look at the MVP differently than what those guys look at it.
Everybody looks at stats. I know.
I don't really look at stats. I look at what value that you bring to your team,
which is how it should be looked at.
And I think if you take Josh Allen away, they instantly go from one of the best to one of the worst teams in the NFL without a doubt. I don't think you could put anybody else there.
Yeah,
and I mean that. I don't think you could put Patrick Mahomes there. I don't think you could put Lamar Jackson there, and they replicate what he's doing because that offense is just not good. The defense is very mid. The offensive line is very mid.
Yeah.
Josh Allen just does what he does. The dude can move. He's like a freaking fullback, but he can sling the ball 70 yards in the air.
Right.
So I'll say Josh Allen again, but it wouldn't surprise. It was a very hard pick between him and Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson with his stats last year could have easily won it last year too. So
that's fair. I mean, it is tough because you have your key main guys. I mean, that you want to put out there, and it's hard to see anybody else but a quarterback winning this at this point.
I want to say Barkley, but that's just not going to happen.
I know. I don't see. I mean, unless he breaks multiple records.
Well, he almost broke Eric Dickerson's last year if they would have let him. And I think if you get that close, you probably should have won it.
I was Saquon for MVP last year. I thought he had a heck of a season, and I don't want to say carried the Eagles, but he did for a point for most of the season.
The dude was running for like 100+ yards a game.
Yeah,
I mean, what else do you want from him? You know,
and he won Philadelphia the championship in the long run by the end of the year. It took so much relief off of Jalen Hurts, and AJ Brown and Devonta Smith, all those guys there. So I will say I would have to agree. I would not be surprised if Lamar Jackson is right there as well. As much as I want to say Saquon, if he has a season he has again, which I mean, the chances of him having a season like he just did, probably not as great as it was.
Nah, that's just a hard thing to replicate. I mean, when you rush for when you almost break Eric Dickerson's record, I mean,
right, you're not going to do that again.
No,
chances are very small that you're going to do that again. I think maybe not. I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. Much as I want to say Josh Allen, I want to go to the wild card, and I'll say Saquon gets it. I think we see the end of the quarterback reign at the MVP.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I really do.
Yeah. Or Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he could be a quiet one to sneak in with the MVP race this year.
He very well could.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not. Is there anybody who you think could be like about Sam Darnold? Do you think Sam Darnold's got a chance?
Okay, buddy. I'd watch out for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
With how poopy caca that guy just was for a whole season. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely probably got some hate he's carrying around for what just happened to him, especially.
He still went to the dang Super Bowl though.
Yeah, but he got absolutely embarrassed.
Yeah,
absolutely embarrassed on national television.
His wide receivers need to catch the ball.
That was 4 quarters of just getting slapped in the mouth.
Yeah. His wide receivers need to catch the ball because they were awful.
No, they were. He wasn't great either, though.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't great either. But the offensive line was terrible. Everything about them was terrible. I'd keep an eye out on him too. He is, in my eyes, he's still the best quarterback in the NFL. So I think you just got to kind of keep an eye out on that. He definitely could come in with some fire and get after it, dude.
No, that's fair. I like it. I think that's a good choice. I mean, if we're going 3 guys who we see at the end of the year, it's definitely Josh Allen, definitely Patrick Mahomes, and the last one I think could be up for grabs. I think we'll see Lamar Jackson there again.
Probably. He's just too good
there every year.
He does.
Yeah.
Dual threat, throwing the ball and running. That's just he just does too much, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to say count him out. So
right. I think if they go deep into the playoffs, he'll probably win it.
Oh, I think so too.
But I don't know. Let us know what you think. Who you think our MVP is going to be for the 2025 season. A lot of names there, a lot of names that you can choose from. So let us know if you're watching at this point that who you think your MVP, or who do you think the MVP for the NFL of 2025 is going to be. You'll put it in the comments as you're watching along. Dillon, your man Ryan Day wants 4 Big Ten automatic qualifiers in the college football playoffs.
He does.
What do you think?
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say he's wrong, right?
4 though.
But the problem is, I mean,
that's
listen,
a lot.
I'm gonna say that.
Why 4 though?
I'm
Like,
going
why
to say
not two?
a lot of the Big Ten teams are better than SEC teams. All right. I can name 4 that I think could probably run through the SEC pretty well.
Ohio State, Oregon,
Penn
Michigan,
State and Michigan.
Penn State, Michigan.
I think could run through the SEC
I don't know if
pretty well.
Michigan.
But the problem is though, right? The problem is that I get why he wants it. I get it.
Yeah.
But you're going up against the SEC, who has teams like Texas and Georgia and Alabama, and now you got Texas Tech, and you got Mississippi State, and you got all these teams that can do something. Ole Miss. You got all the. I just don't. There's too much to cater to in the SEC.
Yeah.
So if you put 4 bids from the Big Ten, you're taking away bids that could come from the SEC, which is where their big money maker is.
Right.
And there's just more.
Well, they make just as much money as not and say just as much, but the Big Ten is right there with SEC when it comes to
there's just more talent.
Yeah.
In the SEC. Fair. There's more talent there. There is. Yes. There's just way more teams, way more talent. I just think four's asking a little much.
So when he was interviewed by ESPN over last week, he wanted 4. He said that Big Ten should have 4 automatic qualifiers. SEC should have 4 automatic qualifiers, 2 from the Big 12, which I think is ridiculous because they're just as tough as a conference as anybody. I think they are.
I don't.
And then 2 from the ACC, which I think is garbage. I don't think the ACC should get 2. And then 1 independent gets in, which I think is ridiculous too.
Why is the independent ridiculous?
What? Just 1?
They're all terrible.
So basically, you're telling me Notre Dame's going to get in every year, no matter what. And that's basically what you're saying is Notre Dame's getting in every year.
But do you really want to watch another team like Boise State get in and then get freaking manhandled?
Yes, I'd rather watch that.
Or SMU come in here and get absolutely manhandled.
I would rather watch that than see Tennessee get manhandled by Ohio State.
Ohio State manhandled everybody, brother.
They did.
All season long. All season long. All the way down.
Your homer is showing a little bit.
I'm just saying. They manhandled everybody, right? Everybody. I just don't want the same thing as last year. I don't want teams like, no offense, Boise State and SMU to get in, and they get abs. They don't. Those guys cannot compete with Big Ten and SEC teams. They can't. There's no chance they win.
SMU was in because they performed better at the end of the season when teams like Alabama didn't.
But I think Alabama probably puts up a better fight against who did SMU play?
Penn State. I don't think so.
I think Alabama probably puts up a way better fight than SMU does.
I don't think they would against.
I think they have not against that Penn State talent. When you tell me that I have all NFL ready players at every position up into 3rd string on my team, and SMU doesn't, I'm going to take the team that probably does.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Alabama probably put up a better fight.
I think having automatic qualifier, like 4 automatic qualifier, and I ran the poll, over on the X page and whatnot, and it wrapped up this morning. Which, by the way, if you aren't, it's at TO with B and D. If you haven't followed along yet, let me get to it. So this is I asked, is like, does the Big Ten deserve 4 automatic qualifiers for the college football playoffs? There was 13 votes, not a lot, I know. 77% said no.
I don't think they deserve 4. I don't think they need 4 because there's just too much talent. I think that they would rather, if you're going to give 4 to the Big Ten, you have to give more to the SEC at that point in time.
Yeah.
There's more talent. There's more teams, right?
You give 4 to everybody and make independents.
You have 4 independent teams in there. They're going to get free.
No.
I don't want to watch
4 independent teams. You tell these independent teams like Notre Dame and whoever else it is, you have to join a conference if you want into the big show.
But I don't even want to watch teams like Boise State who are in the Mountain. I don't even want to watch that. I don't want to watch.
Well, yeah, that doesn't even count the group of 5.
Yeah, they get destroyed. This is we're in a big boy league now, right? This is big boy stuff. Whenever you have the little guys get in, they're going to get freaking destroyed. The whole first round was just ass whoopings. No one wants to see that. I mean, Tennessee, to be honest, that was probably a fluke. You put that up 100 times out of 100, it's probably a closer game. I don't think they get destroyed by 30 freaking points or whatever. I don't see it happening.
Nobody's beating Ohio State in that type of atmosphere on a freaking Saturday night.
No, Ohio State's just the best team.
That anyways. Well, okay.
I'm calling it like it is.
Okay, Ryan Day 0-4 against Michigan.
I'm just saying. But hey, 0-4 against Michigan, but another national championship.
Apples to oranges. You got to beat the team up north.
But you know what they couldn't do? They couldn't win a national championship.
But you know what else they couldn't do? Beat the team up north.
And they couldn't win a national championship this year. They couldn't even find a quarterback this year, and they still beat us.
Yeah, that's true. They were pretty off there. Michigan was pretty bad.
And they still found a way to beat us. To answer your question, though, I don't think that you need 4 qualifiers from the Big Ten. I mean,
I think 2 from each conference is enough.
Would it be beneficial? Do I think it'd probably make the college playoffs a little more intense?
Okay,
I think probably so.
Yeah,
you get Penn State and Oregon and Ohio State in there and somebody else. I think it makes it a little more. But
that would have been the 4 automatic qualifier. You're looking at Penn State. You would have had 4 automatic. You had 4 automatic qualifiers last year. You had Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana. Those are your 4 automatic qualifiers right there. Nobody wanted Indiana in there in the first place because they said they weren't worthy enough.
No, they were pretty terrible.
You have a season like that, you deserve an opportunity.
I'm not saying that, but like
they just got beat by a team that's
better than them.
Better. Yeah.
But I mean, you could say the same thing about Boise State, but like
you could.
They play in a conference that doesn't have any type of talent that any of the other conferences have.
That's changing anyways because they're going to the new Pac-12.
It's good. You could say the same thing about Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They didn't really play anybody in my eyes.
They lost to Northern Illinois.
So I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't think 4. I think 2 from each conference would be plenty.
I think you probably just keep it like it is. Unfortunately, you're going to see a bunch of ass whooping still, but
yeah, you get 4 from each, or 2 from each conference. That's 8 teams right there. 8 automatic qualifiers from each of the big, the Power 4. You're going to have to throw the Pac-12 in there again because you're still going off the Power 5 thing. So the Pac-12 is going to have to get an automatic qualifier at some point. You're going to have to throw that in there. You can't just leave them out. I mean, you can't put them at the same level as a Group of 5 school. If you're considering it a Power 5 school. So then you just give them 1 to start. Whoever wins the. I also thought that, hey, like, why not just give you 1? Whoever wins your conference championship is your automatic qualifier, and it goes from there.
How many teams are in the college football playoffs? Was it 16?
It's going to go to. I think it's going to 16, isn't it?
Okay, so how about this? All right.
It's still 12,
automatic qualifiers.
Yeah.
And how about the top 16 teams are the ones who are in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, that would be. I don't know if it's actually happening. It's expected to expand to a 16-team format.
Was it 12 right now? Is that what it was last
12.
year?
It's
12. Okay, so how about the top 12 teams just go?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair. If you're in the top 12, that means you're one of the best 12 teams and and college football. I think that's how it should go. If you're the best, if you're one of the best, that you should probably go.
Yeah.
I like that. Top 12, you go.
If it goes to 16 when it does, because we know it's going to. More than likely will. It's going to happen. You get 4 automatic qualifiers from the Big Ten and the SEC. So if it goes to 16,
so there's 8 teams already on.
So there's 8 teams. That's half of it from 2 conferences.
Which, if you're going to do it that way, it should be that way. Those are your 2 best conferences. It should be that way.
Then you get 2 from the Big 12 and 2 from the ACC. So the ACC champion and the runner-up, basically, or the conference champion and the runner-up. Basically, is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Which you go to a 16-team playoff, there's a chance that they play each other in the first round, depending on seeding, which is ridiculous if that happens. And then one bid for a group of 6 conference championship, which I'm guessing is I don't know how that would be determined. But then you have to have and there'd be one remaining up at large spot, which majority of the time is going to go to Notre Dame. So if they move to a straight seeding format, meaning the top 4 teams will receive buys regardless of championship status or conference champion status.
Like I said, I'm on the train of if we're doing 16 teams, the top 16 teams go.
Yeah.
And then whatever you finish at in that last game, that's what your seed is, 1 through 16.
Yeah. I would not be opposed to that at all.
I just don't see why you wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah.
You're talking about, you're talking about you could have a majority of Big Ten and SEC teams. So I get they're trying to give everybody a chance.
Right.
But just
those
be
are
better.
money makers.
Just be better.
Yeah.
I think if you're one of the best, if we're doing a 16 team playoff, I think if you're one of the best 16 teams in college football right now, right, and that's how you finish the season, number 10. I think that you should be you should be number 10. You should be the 10 seed in the playoffs. You're one of the top 10 teams. I don't understand how you're not in it because you didn't make it to your conference championship.
Right.
So I think that'd be the easiest way to do it. But I understand that they don't want to do that way because you'd probably it'd be 99% Big Ten and SEC teams.
Oh yeah, if you just did it that way.
So
that's just what it is. I mean, the chances that
I thought that's what it comes out to, anyways.
Most of the time, yeah. I mean, you're gonna half the teams. If you go to a 16 team play, if you go to a 12 team playoff, Big Ten had 4 last year. That's a quarter of the teams, anyways. If you're at a 12 team playoff, is that a quarter? Yeah, 30 playoff teams. Whatever.
I don't know.
I'm not good with math. Okay.
All I know is the ass whoopings that they had last year. I think that they should probably.
But it was really just round 1. The round 2 game against Texas and Arizona State was fantastic.
But I think you want to take that away because that whole first round was literally nothing but people getting freaking destroyed.
But it's going to happen.
But I don't think it should be like that. I think if you're in the playoffs, in my eyes, every game should be close. I mean, if you're in the playoffs, you're telling me that person is better than everybody else that deserved to be in there, that they're the best option that you could have put in that spot. And then they walk in there and they get blown out. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that. Now, obviously, you're going to have some flukes. I don't think Tennessee, I think they lose that game every time. I don't think they get blown out by 21 points. Yeah. I don't think that happens. Right. I think same scenario, I don't think they lose by 21 points again. But the fact that you get that the Boise States and the Indiana's in there, congratulations, Indiana played well, right? They won 10 games.
Indiana had a heck of a season. They did.
But they didn't play anybody. They didn't.
You can say the same thing about Ohio State's conference stuff, though.
Ohio State, yeah, but they played the Penn States, they played the Indianas, and they played the Oregons, and they played the Michigans. Like Indiana didn't even do that.
They played Ohio State.
Thank you. That's all they did, and they got washed.
What was the final score of that one?
I think they won by a touchdown.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
So
no, I thought they blew them out of the it wasn't close.
No, they might have blew them out of the water.
Yeah, but it was close for a little while, but it ended up being further apart.
But
yeah,
here's what I'm kind of getting at though. I don't think whatever they do, I don't think anyone's going to be happy.
No.
I think we're all going to have something to say. I don't like seeing blowouts. I think that if you're in there, that's telling me that you deserve to be in there rather than anybody else who could have had your spot. You deserve to be there, and then you go in there and you get washed out by 30 points. That's not great. But at the same time,
if we see a 16 team playoff, I think we see more of those games though.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
unless you fudge with your seedings and.
Beggars can't be choosers, I guess. I'd rather have this than what they had before, where it was just 4 teams.
That's true.
I hated that.
Yeah.
They were closer games, but it was the same 4 teams every year.
Yeah.
So I at least like the fact that other teams get to get in there. I just hate watching teams get in there when someone else should have, and they get blown out of the water. But like you said, you're going to have that. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm kind of contradicting myself a little bit, but
I mean – I get what you're saying. You just want to see less of those games.
I want to see more. I want to see more Texas and Arizona State games.
Yeah.
I want to see more of those. That's what I want to see.
Right. So not necessarily because we know blowout games happen. Don't want to necessarily see 4 or 5 of those. You want to see two or three, one or two blowout games.
Yes.
More competitive games.
Yeah.
Because blowout games are going to happen. It's going to happen.
Everybody deserves a chance to get in. So, I mean, I get that's what they're doing, and why they're doing it. So,
yeah. Basically. All right. Well, since we're on the college football playoff talk, it's not that far away. We got our first little power index here going.
Ohio State. Let
me switch it here. There you go. Further, they are not in they are, but they're 4.
Ohio State.
They're 4th in the power index. 4th in the power index. Let me pull it up here so I can see it. So you got Texas. They have Texas at 1.
And they only have Texas at 1 because Archie Manning's gonna be quarterback.
That's true.
That's the only reason why.
They have 34% chance to win the playoffs, 99% chance to win 6 games, and a 9% chance to win out. Projected at basically 10-2. Georgia's second, 10-2 as well, maybe 9-3. See here, they have then Alabama is 3. I don't know if I see Alabama being 3.
It's hard to count them out.
It is hard to count them out. I was talking to somebody about Alabama. They're like, Alabama's just not as good as they used to be. I was like, just give DeBoer a year or two. Give him another 2 to 3 years or a year or two. Let him get his system in. Let him get his recruits in. They'll be fine. They have them about 10-2 as well. 4, then you have Ohio State. 5 is Penn State. 6, Oregon. 7, Notre Dame. 8, Texas A&M. I think they're they'll be all right. Miami is probably shot too high. They do decent during the regular season. How about Clemson at 11?
Poopy caca. Sorry.
The 2 ACC teams that were battling it out last year, ACT, Miami, who kind of choked at the end of the season, that allowed SMU to get into the playoffs anyways. Any surprises here? I think there's no surprises here. Maybe Auburn with how awful they were last year.
No surprises?
Who?
What, that Ohio State should be number 1? 100%.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
The only reason they're not number 1 right now is because they lost their defensive coach. That is the only reason why they're not number 1.
Yeah, to Penn State.
Yeah, and who is still ass. Sorry.
Well, hey. Just saying. I don't know. I'm not.
Alabama doesn't need to be number 3.
I don't think so.
I'll give Ohio State number 3. These
are just power. These are just so these aren't the actual rankings. They're just power.
I'm an Ohio State
football power index.
I'm an Ohio State lover, but I admit when things got to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I would take Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Notre Dame, and then I'd have Alabama.
That's fair.
Above Texas A&M.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all those guys are. I mean, I know Oregon just lost a big wide receiver to a torn patella is what I saw, which sucks for him. Sucks for Alabama.
So
let's just jump into. Let's talk about your Ohio State Buckeyes. Oh God. Oh, it's in alphabetical order. What the heck is this? Ranked, so they are ranked 18th.
Who's that?
Ohio State with strength of schedule from perspective of average.
Yeah, but that's no surprise. They don't ever really have a hard schedule.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, they got ripped when they announced their like future schedules and whatnot.
They play 4 hard teams a year. Basically, that's what they play, right?
No.
We play Oregon, we play Penn State. We'll play Indiana, and we'll play Michigan.
Right.
That's it. Everybody else is a wash. Like you're getting destroyed.
Yeah.
So,
not at all surprised. I mean, outside of just where the teams are necessarily, there's nobody.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think everyone who's up there deserves to be there. I just think it needs to be flipped around. Alabama doesn't need to be 3. I think Ohio State should be 3.
Yeah.
I think Penn State should be 4. Oregon should be 5. Notre Dame should be 6, and then I think you should have Alabama.
I think Texas A&M could be easily over Alabama right now.
It's hard for me to say anything about Alabama. They're just It's Alabama. So
And they have them as a 98% chance to win 6+ games, 17% chance to win their conference, just because they got Georgia and Alabama or Georgia and Texas now. They have to worry about. I don't know. 66% chance to make the playoffs, where they have. That's more than Oregon. That's more than Penn State.
yeah.
I don't know. Win the national championship, 10%, 11% chance basically right now to win the national championship.
24% chance for Texas. It's pretty crazy.
Which doesn't surprise me. You got a Manning behind that. He did fairly well last year, so it doesn't surprise me that they have him there either. It doesn't. Well, bam. Any other thoughts on college football playoffs?
Just Ohio State's going to win, but that's it.
Like, I don't care. It's just Ohio State or nothing.
It really is. It really is.
The final topic for today. Well, hold on. Let us know who you think. Who's your early prediction for your college football playoffs? If you want to throw in all 12 teams, you can throw in all 12 teams because there are 12 teams for this season. It might change after that. It might go to 14. Might go to 16. We don't really know. Probably going to go straight to 16. I'd imagine so. Have you watched any of the NBA, NHL finals at all? I don't know. I know they've been pretty electric so far. At least the NHL one has.
No, I've just watched. I've seen like highlights. I saw that game Tuesday night for the NBA finals, and I saw I saw the Oklahoma City Thunder led for about 43 minutes or 47 minutes or whatever it was.
They had like almost a 20-point lead at one point.
They basically led all game to the final 0.3 seconds. Yeah. That was the only time they lost the lead. They held the lead all the way up until there was 0.3 seconds left.
Yeah.
And Tyrese Halliburton hit a game-winning jump shot.
Just beautiful shot.
To a little buzzer beater to win the game. And, that left 0.3 seconds left on the clock. So.
Yeah. It was a heck of a game. I had about, with the underdog stuff I had going, I had 5 guys or 5, picks and whatnot. I got 2 of the 3 right. One of them was SGA getting under 33.5 points. Didn't happen. He finished with 38. So I was a little disappointed there because I would have won it was the quadruple or how many boosts it was, like 7 times boosted or something like that. So I would have won. I bet $10. I would have won like 115, something like that. I missed out on that one. And what was the other one I missed out on? I think it was Halliburton getting 8 rebounds, more than 8 rebounds, and he finished with 6.
He's a pretty good player. He is. He's come alive pretty well. So
he is. Who? I don't know how much you've kept up with the NBA. Who do you think? Do you think Oklahoma City ends up wrapping it up, or
no? I think the Pacers probably end up winning. I just think
so.
I think Tyrese
Halliburton, a good team.
I think he's just. I think the Pacers aren't as good. I don't think they're as good as Oklahoma. Yeah. I don't think they're as good as them. But I think that Tyrese. I think there's just you can almost like feel it. There's too much like aura around the dude right now. Like his aura is just through the freaking roof. He's just
somebody. I would agree. I think somebody said the other day it reminds them of like the Spurs.
They're just that. It's just you can just. It's almost like their moment. You can just feel. It. You can just feel it. I think the Pacers win. I think it probably goes 7 games.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. That would be cool. I think it'd be neat for. I mean, you get 2 small market teams in the NBA Finals for once. So I think it's cool that we're, as many people say that I'm not watching the NBA Finals, this and that. It's 2 small market, 2 teams I don't care about. Absolutely baloney. You should watch it because it just helps.
It does.
If you want to grow things, you have to watch these kind of things as well.
Especially when it's teams that are in there that you're not used to. So
right, yeah, right. 2 teams that have had a pretty decent season. 2 teams that have knocked off some really good teams to get to the NBA Finals. Yeah. NHL wise, the things has been an absolute freaking haymaker. You get an overtime game or overtime winner in game 1, which Edmonton won, and you get a double overtime game in game 2, which Florida won. They don't play till tomorrow night, or Monday night, whichever, tonight, however you want to look at it. What it's been fun to watch that one too. It's been an absolute physical series. I get ready to go to game 10 of this series. I'm just kidding. It's only game 3 or game 3. But these two teams played each other last year in the Stanley Cup Finals. So I don't know. I honestly don't know if Canada and Connor McDavid and the Oilers get the Stanley Cup again. I think it goes to Florida. I think Florida is going to be too tough of a team for.
They're playing well, dude.
They are. They're both playing. Both
well.
these teams are playing really well.
Florida they're tough, man. They're just tough.
I want to say that both games have went 4 goals, at least 4+ goals for each team in game.
It's hard to pick a winner when both teams are basically performing the exact same. I mean,
Right.
it comes down to the most minute mistake
Right.
that somebody makes that causes the loss.
Yeah. First game 1 was 4-3 in overtime. So there's 7 goals there. The second game was 5-4 in 2 overtimes. So there's 9 goals there. That's what? How many? 16 goals in 2 games between the two. That's pretty. I watched game 2 the other night before it went to overtime. Pretty solid matchup.
I think Florida probably brings it home.
Yeah,
they're tough, man. They're tough.
That's
they're
tough to do.
It is tough.
Yeah, that is tough to do. Back to back, two straight Stanley Cups is it's literally the hardest trophy to win in all sports,
without a doubt.
Yeah. Dylan, any final thoughts on things as we wrap up the show?
No, I got nothing.
No. Okay. When do we want to do the next one?
Same time.
Just be on the lookout for episode 2. Just be on the lookout for episode 2. Got tons to talk about. For that episode, we'll just keep you in touch and when that episode will drop. Okay. Make sure you do the whole thing. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we will I guess we'll catch you on the next one. Oh, it's also Men's Mental Health Month, Dylan. I know, it's a lot going on too. So anybody ever needs anybody to talk to, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. Okay. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody.
Yeah, it's not a joke, to joke around with that stuff.
No, it's not.
People laugh about it. Guys at an early age are taught not to speak up about their health because you're supposed to be tough.
Yep.
And everybody goes through everything, not just guys. Girls go through it. Everybody goes through stuff. But I think guys are just under talked and overlooked because we are taught at such a young age that you just need to toughen up, and don't get your panties in a bunch, basically type of ordeal.
Yeah.
But just so people know, right? I'm a huge advocate for men's mental health. I talk about it every June when it comes around. I talk about it all year long, basically.
Yeah.
It's 525,000 men a year. It's 10,096 men per week. It's 1,442 men every day. It's 60 men every hour, and it's 1 man every second dies by suicide. And most of them are ages 40 through 49. So it's not always just the young people. Everybody carries some sort of hardship through their life. So age does not matter. So if you need help, if you need to talk, reach out. Make sure you reach out to somebody. I promise you, it is much, much more worthy to talk to somebody than to take your life.
Yes.
So people would rather have you here than not.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't always seem like that, but it is very important that you just muster up enough strength, right, and enough courage. I know it's a scary thing, but just muster up enough to reach out to somebody, and just all you gotta do is just make that initial contact, and hopefully the person you reach out to takes it seriously, and they get you some help, because that is the most important thing. So
yes, I would agree. We'll leave you on that note. We'll see you next time. Intro and outro music brought to you by The Last Stanza. So make sure you go check them out as well, and we'll see you for episode 2 later on.